we're going to discuss the new Rwanda deal from the UK. And to get a better understanding of it, with us today is Christopher Howarth, who is the special advisor to the Home Secretary on the Rwanda deal and is currently working in the House of Commons. Christopher, thank you for being here and welcome.
Good afternoon.
To start with, how does the Rwanda Plan work?
Well, the Rwanda project works on the basis of deterrence. So rather than trying to stop people in the channel or trying to stop people leaving the countries that they're seeking to leave, it removes the magnetic pull of coming to the UK by saying if you arrive in the UK illegally, you will be sent to a safe country, Rwanda, and your application will be dealt with there. So it removes the magnetic pull of coming to the UK to work in the UK, which is what a lot of the people are seeking to do. Remove the magnetic pull and you have deterrence, and that should stop the people wishing to get on the boats to cross the channel, risk their lives in the first place.
Because on who does this Rwanda Plan apply to?
The Rwanda Plan applies to people arriving in the UK illegally. Most visibly, it is people who are getting onto boats on the French coast to travel by boat to arrive on the UK coast illegally, who at the moment, before the legislation was passed, they were able to go into the asylum process in the UK. Under the legislation, it says if you arrive by that means, if you arrive illegally, your application for asylum will be held, but it will be held in Rwanda. There will be no route to permanent settlement in the UK if you arrive illegally. So it applies effectively to everyone who arrives by irregular means in the UK.
Yeah, because if we look out through the rest of Europe as well in the UK, we see that the amount of migrants, especially illegal migrants that is coming within the borders, is growing exponentially every year. We're even at an all-time high since 2015 to 2016. But let's be honest about the Rwanda Plan. Like, how effective is it going to be to take away that pull factor for illegal migrants to come to the UK, and also for the smugglers that have this as their business model?
Yes, I mean, obviously it hasn't succeeded so far. I mean, there are some signs that deterrence is starting to work, but the plan hasn't really been fully operationalized yet. But the concept is the only ways you can stop illegal migration to the UK is either before they cross the border, at the border, or by deterring them from wanting to come in the first place. It's a very tricky problem to solve. But the Rwanda project is based entirely on the deterrence aspect of it, which will work alongside other ways of trying to stop people crossing the border. But it's the deterrence that once it's up and running, there should be no purpose of getting into a boat to come to the UK, because if you get to the UK, you'll be going to Rwanda. And the belief is that most people coming to the UK, it's to come to work, it's to come to stay in the UK. If the option is come to the UK and you'll go to a safe country such as Rwanda, virtually no one will wish to get on a boat. And as you say, for the smuggling gangs who make a lot of money out of it, the people who are crossing the channel are charged a lot of money, thousands and thousands of pounds for the passage. They will not wish to spend that money if it means an air flight to Rwanda. So in concept, and when it's operationalized, this should end the problem of illegal boats crossing to the UK. But as it stands at the moment, it's not. It's only just started. So it'll take some time for the deterrence aspect of it to start to work.
So that's very interesting, because I think now you're really taking away, or you're really attacking the problem at the core, at the roots of the problem itself, which is how appealing it is to come to the UK, because they will be sent right back to Rwanda. But then This always comes with a price tag, and I read somewhere that it's estimated it will cost between 20 to 30,000 euros for each illegal migrant to be sent back to Rwanda. So we're talking about a lot of money. How
Yeah,
effective is it? Aren't there cheaper solutions?
I should think it's probably, it depends how you calculate it, because the Rwanda project is very expensive, hundreds and hundreds of millions of pounds, because building accommodation in Rwanda and all the like and all the and flying people and everything, it's very, very expensive. But of course, if it works, nobody will actually be sent to Rwanda, because if deterrence works, the numbers crossing the channel will go down to a very small number. So once it's up and running, it'll be hopefully virtually no one will go to Rwanda. The same happened with Australia when they set up their Operation Sovereign Borders, sending people to Pacific Islands, Papua New Guinea. It was a very expensive project, but now no one is sent there because the deterrence factor works. So it depends how you calculate it. Rwanda is expensive, but if it deters tens of thousands of people from crossing the channel each year, it'll save a huge amount of money. At the moment, we're spending millions of pounds every day keeping asylum seekers in hotels because we've run out of accommodation for them. That will all be saved. So it depends. It depends what cost and what benefit you look at. It is expensive, but the cost of not doing it is even more.
It's a price tag, but in return of it, you get effectiveness, which is crucial with this migration problem. Then the last question is that Ireland is actually opposing this this Rwanda deal. So how is this going to impact the UK's government's plans to implement this agreement, especially in terms of cross-border asylum seekers and the border cooperations between the UK and Ireland on migration policies?
Well, Ireland has a long history with the United Kingdom, obviously going back to when Ireland became independent in 1922. And part of that deal was that there is common travel between Ireland and the UK, a sort of mini Schengen, as you might say. So we don't have passport controls between the UK and Ireland for British and Irish citizens. So the obvious problem is if there is a lot of illegal migration into the UK or into Ireland, they can move from one to the other across the border. So whichever country is the easiest or the best one to claim asylum in, and there's nothing stopping people going from one to the other. So effectively, the UK and Ireland need to cooperate on this matter. Now, as you say, recently there may be evidence that people have been moving from the UK into Ireland to take advantage of the fact that Ireland will not be having a Rwanda scheme. So if you've come to the UK, you don't want to go to Rwanda, you could get on the ferry or cross the border into Ireland without showing your passport. Now, this is a problem, and in Ireland, they said they were going to try and send people back to the UK from Ireland, which is impossible because we don't have passport controls. And the UK government has said it doesn't want to cooperate on taking people back from Ireland if France doesn't take them back from the UK. So I think probably the solution to this is that the Irish government and the UK government come up with a joint plan. Maybe Ireland should join the Rwanda scheme as well if EU law allows them. We also now have the added complication that the Northern Ireland, which was to some extent left within the European Union when the UK left, there's been a court case in the last few days to say that the Rwanda project isn't legal in Northern Ireland, which is within the United Kingdom. So we now have an added complication that people might move from the UK mainland to Northern Ireland to escape the Rwanda project, because European law in Northern Ireland has said that this project is illegal under various EU laws. So this is a problem, but I think it's one that can be solved if the UK government and the Irish government sort of sit down and discuss it.
Well, that's a hopeful last message. Thank you so much, Christopher, for being here with us today and explaining all the ins and outs about the Rwanda deal. And thank you for our viewers for watching.